So one of my favorite drills for working on your open water sighting is a drill I just call sight practice. And basically it teaches you how to get really, really good at that kind of rolling sight and breathe. So the way that you're gonna do this drill is going one direction. You will breathe every right stroke and then sight every time you take your left arm stroke. And then on the way back, you would reverse it. So breathe every left, sight every right arm stroke. So when you do this, usually I only do a couple 25s at a time, just because it can get you a little bit dizzy with sighting this often, but there are gonna be times in open water that you might actually need to sight this often. So the way you're gonna do this drill, so let's say I'm breathing to my right, sighting on my left stroke. So as I'm taking that right arm stroke, I take that breath, and then as my arm is rolling through, that's when I lift just my eyes up out of the water, take that breath. Now, one thing that's really important is that at this point, you don't want to drop your arm until you are done taking that breath, or sorry, not that breath, that look up in front of you. So if you drop your arm too early, you won't have anything to catch and pull with. So you want to leave it there while you look up ahead. And then as you lower your head back down, that's when you're going to finish the stroke. Again, you would repeat, breathe to the right, sight to the left, breathe to the right, sight to the left, even though you're not technically sighting to the left, but you're sighting with your left arm stroke. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Breathe left, sight with the right, breathe left, sight with the right. So you'll notice there's just kind of a little bit of a catch up to that stroke because we are letting that hand linger out in front before you catch and pull through. Again, the goal is to keep the eyes really, really nice and low on the water. Sometimes also the way that I'll mix this up, if I'm doing some sort of set that there's a multiple of 3, I might do a single 25 where I breathe right, sight left, another one where I breathe left, sight right, and then on the third one I might do Tarzan drill, which is where you're just gonna keep your eyes up the entire time as you're swimming freestyle. And then on that, I usually take a breath every third stroke where I continue to keep that head up out of the water, but you don't want to be trying to sight and breathe at the same time because it's a lot more difficult to breathe to the front than it is to breathe to the side. So if you can separate those two pieces out, that's going to make you a lot better off for open water. So here you can see I'm going to breathe on my right stroke and then sight as I take my left arm pull. You can see how with my right arm I kind of let it linger out in front a little bit, so there's almost a little bit of a gallop to my stroke, just because I want to have that arm to generate some power and propel myself forward as I finish sighting. One thing that's really important to note here, I'm not taking super long looks. It's just a little snapshot of what is in front of me. So it's okay if you don't sight the buoy every single time. This is how you get really comfortable with sighting often, because you just want to take those little check-ins every once in a while when you're swimming in open water to make sure you're on track. Okay, so one other drill that you can do when you want to work on your sighting abilities in the pool is just a drill I call 3-3. So you're going to alternate between 3 regular strokes and 3 sighting strokes, or 3 strokes where your eyes are up out of the water. Again, we don't want our whole mouth out of the water, our whole face. We want to breathe on the regular strokes and not on our sighting strokes. So my head will be in the water, 1, 2, maybe I breathe on number 3, and then I roll into 1, 2, 3 sighting strokes. Oftentimes I'll take that breath on that third stroke as I roll my face back in, breathe, again, sight, 1, 2, 3, and then repeat that same thing over and over. One thing that's important to note is that as you are sighting, you are not necessarily trying to take in everything. You're just trying to get little snapshots of information. So with this drill, it can be great because you're getting 3 whole strokes in, but normally in open water, you might only want to sight 1 stroke at a time. So again, you're just thinking about taking those little snapshots, trying to see where the buoy is, maybe put something on the deck when you're practicing in the pool so that you can sight your water bottle or sight a chair or something in the distance that gives you something specific to focus on. All of those are great ways to prepare yourself better for open water sighting. So here you can see I'm just going to start out with 3 normal freestyle strokes. I will breathe on the third one and then immediately roll into my 3 sighting strokes. I will also breathe on the last one of those 3 as I roll back into normal freestyle. So just alternating 3 normal, 3 sighting strokes.